one of the big things that you talk about is entrainment, and really being able to show up as a coach with that confidence is an essential piece of really holding a powerful container for your clients.
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. What's up, Badass Manifestors? So excited for our episode today. All about how to hold space like a boss and how to hold space with conviction and without trying to fix people, whether it be your family, your friends, your clients, anyone. I am jamming out with my girl, Jen Casey, my bestie, my soul sister. She is such an incredible expert in so many different things, especially when it comes to this in particular. She's a powerful healer and she has helped facilitate massive healing on me. And so I'm excited to bring her in to jam out. I also want to give a massive, massive welcome and shout out to all of the beautiful souls who have joined Quantum Coaching Academy. I am so freaking beyond excited for you and for us to go on this beautiful journey together to develop your skills and tools and expand the space that you hold and the transformation that you provide. And so, as you guys know, I've been launching and the applications closed yesterday. However, I am leaving them open for one more day. I know that there are some people still thinking about jumping in. And so really, if you're listening to this podcast episode and you feel that pull and that nudge, I want to invite you to do it now because they will be closed moving forward. Today is the last day to apply. I cannot wait. If you are feeling called, do it, do it, do it. We'll hop on a call together and we will make sure that it is the right fit for you. After you apply, you'll have the opportunity to leave a $500 deposit and get in on the last round of QCA for 2021. This is it, y'all. This is the last round of 2021. No more. No more. This is it. This is it. So I want to invite you in and you'll be certified before the end of the year and go into 2022 as a certified quantum life coach and so much more. So enjoy this episode. Take notes. It's a good one. You're going to hear us demo coaching each other. It's going to be really, really good, and I can't wait for you to dive in and get all the goodness out of it. So make sure you tag us. Let us know what your favorite takeaway was from this episode. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. I'm here for you. Can't wait. Bye. Have fun. Enjoy.
Hello. How's it going, you guys? Super excited that you are here with us today, because I am joined by one of my all-time favorite people, Ashley Gordon, aka the Quantum Coach, to talk about this idea of, should you become a certified coach? How important is it for you to be certified? When should you get certified? Where should you get certified? All the questions that come up around really up-leveling your mastery. So if we are just meeting for the first time, hello, my name is Jen Casey. I am a brain-based business coach, and I work with high-level entrepreneurs who are in the process of creating a program or course, who really want to deliver high-level transformations using psychology. I support them with selling and also the subconscious reprogramming. And I am joined today by my dear friend, Ashley Gordon, the creator of the Quantum Coaching Academy certification. Ashley, what's up?
What's up? Hello. Super excited.
So for those who are just meeting you, fill us in.
Yeah.
Okay, hey everyone. I'm Ashley Gordon. I'm the founder of the Quantum Coaching Academy certification program, and I work with coaches to help them master their craft and create life-changing, long-lasting transformation for their clients and for them to be amazing leaders and facilitators at what they do in the world. And that is helping others, which is why we're all here.
Yes. Oh my God, so good. So Ashley and I actually met a couple of years ago, right before we went into a different training, a coaching training ourselves. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Ashley, one of the reasons that we connected right away was because two of our core values and the way that we think about business and approach business are mastery and integrity. And having been through many certifications and different online training programs, there are some that truly embody those values and some that don't, fortunately or unfortunately. So I would love to kind of kick things off by really just sharing a little bit about, like, why is that important to you, and how does that like show up for you in what you create?
Yeah, I think that you know, being committed to your craft and being committed to what you say you do, right? So if you say that you're a coach, be an amazing world-class coach, right? Be so good. Stand out in your industry. And it's important because number one, I believe that we're never fully arriving, right? We're always going to be up leveling in this way. And Jen and I, like she said, we're committed to that. We're always going to be, investing in certifications and moving in directions that we're intuitively pulled towards as far as, you know, making decisions to up level who we are, our own personal transformation, but then also what we can give to our people and our clients and our family, right? Because it ripples out into every single area of your life. And then integrity, obviously, it's just number one. It's so important to have that level of integrity of just, yes, walking the talk, you know?
Yeah, I don't ask my clients to do anything that I am not already doing or haven't already done myself. I think that's such a key, essential piece of really being able to show up in integrity as a leader.
Mm-hmm. We can't lead people where we're not willing to go. And so that's part of it too. And that's the work that Jen and I have been on as friends and leaders and facilitators, is that, we're going deeper and deeper into our own personal growth and into our own personal development and our, professional development. That is one of the biggest reasons why we are so amazing at what we do, to be honest, like, just to be frank about it.
Hair toss. Well, and that's one of the things that I love about the way that you've structured Quantum Coaching Academy. And obviously something that I teach is like looking at somebody's program design and really building it out in a way that overcomes limiting beliefs before they show up, and really looking at the different styles of learners and creating an experience and building frameworks. And that's something that I teach in my work and to my high level clients. And that's why I love sharing about your program, because that's something that you just so fully embody in the way that you teach your clients. And really, when it comes to coaching, like we were just saying, as a leader, being able to take people somewhere that you've already been. And with a lot of training certification type programs, they might teach you the tools, but there's no real implementation. And that's kind of an issue within the course industry on the whole, in my opinion. But I think what you do so beautifully is you really give people not only the high level tools and strategies and techniques, but you actually work with them in the implementation process and review what they're doing and give them feedback and make sure that they are practiced and studied before they go out into the world. Because in other certification, quote unquote, certification programs, they never go through that process. And then the first person who's receiving the technique for the first time is their paying client. And to me, that's not really fair, that their client is basically paying full price to be a beta test. Like, hope this works. Hope I'm facilitating it the right way.
Oh, yes. It's so true. I know I felt that way after some certifications. I'm like, I don't know how to actually use this tool. And you know what? There's the more you practice the tools, the better you get at them, like bottom line, right? The more you practice. And so that is why we have so much practice built into our program. So like, I do think one of the things that sets us apart is that we are such an experience-based program. We are such a hands-on immersive setup where, coaches are coming in and they're learning, but then they're practicing right away. We're going into breakout rooms, we're practicing. Then they're practicing with a peer throughout the entire program. You have a coach and a client. So they're getting that real coach experience, and they're getting that real coach. They're being developed because they have a coach. So they're seeing how powerful the tools are done on them, which gives you a whole nother level of experience of the tool. So it's like very, very layered.
Yeah, and you just have so much more confidence. And I think even in my own experience in learning new tools and getting to utilize them with my clients, it's the more you use something, you start to notice different parts of the technique where, oh, that's like an interesting thing that's never happened before. We never talked about that in the certification program. Like, what do you do if this happens? What do you do if that happens? So just being able to have a peer client, peer coaches that you get to kind of work out the kinks with. And then also as the whole group, as the collective, to be able to come back and have conversations about like sticking points or like new things that you discovered or new ways that you kind of navigated something. Like, I think that just gives people so much more confidence. And one of the big things that you talk about is entrainment, and really being able to show up as a coach with that confidence is an essential piece of really holding a powerful container for your clients.
So true. And that's another level of it, right? It's like, yes, learning how to use the tools and facilitate the tools is one thing. The whole other piece of it is, how do you hold the container as a whole, whether it's one-on-one or a group container, and how do you contain that energy for maximum transformation? And that's kind of what we kind of go into in the method. And it goes deeper than the tools. There, like you said, there's nuances, and there's ways to meet people where they are, and there's ways to be flexible as a coach in order to actually help someone get from where they are to where they want to be, and to release what's holding them back. And it takes a lot of trust with your client. It takes a lot of trust and a lot of rapport, right? A lot of rapport to help someone have a profound shift. And so I think that the sweet sauce, one of the sweet sauces of QCA is that overall like holding of the client, their emotions, the container, and just, I don't know, there's just some magical energy in it.
For real though, because I think for so many people, even just the thought of like, okay, imagine yourself right now listening to a client, hearing what they're saying, and what's happening for you. What's going through your head? Are you fully present in listening, or are you already thinking about, oh, I should give them this advice. Oh, they shouldn't be doing this. Are you creating judgments about what they're saying? Have you stopped listening, and are you thinking about a story of something that happened to you, right? All of these little things, that's all a part of really being able to hone your skill set as a masterful coach. Because the reality is, like, yes, we're human beings, but to really be able to hone your focus so that you can hold, when we say hold space, it's really like holding the energy of that for that client so that they can express comfortably, easily, so that they can share what's coming up for them without you jumping to fix something, without you asking another question. Like, what if you just allow the pause to happen? What if you just allow things to come up for them? And so if that makes you feel anxious, like there's something for you as a coach or aspiring coach to work through so that you can help your clients transform even more. And this kind of brings to one of the other questions that was coming up in some conversations I was having with people about getting certified. And it's like, how do you know if you should get certified now? Or should I like launch this program and like do a certification down the road? Where should I prioritize my focus and time, on business development, marketing, in my expertise, or as a coach? So I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I say, as a coach, first and foremost, because I do, my personal journey was, I want to be a coach. I know this is what I want to do, but I have no idea where to start. I have no idea how to get into it. And I just had no idea what to do. So the first thing that I did was look up certification programs. And I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to be good. Like, I want to be able to feel, my whole story in the beginning was, I want to be able to feel like I am being paid fairly for what I can actually give to someone. Like that what I was giving them was valuable for compensation. And so for me, that landed in like, okay, get certified, know your stuff. But that shifted over time where I was like, I'm like, thank God I did that. And I had to go through that belief in order to, get to where I am. But I mean, you're learning your craft and building your business, they happen hand in hand. They really do. And I said this before, but like people come into the program and they're like, I don't know where to start. I'm brand new. But the energy of the group really is super motivating because people are putting themselves out there. They're sharing, they're putting their business out there. They're starting to take discovery calls. And it's like, oh, I want that people get excited. And so they learn how to coach and they start to build their business and they learn how to coach more and they start to sign clients and they learn how to coach more. And I have, clients who have been able to quit their 9-to-5 jobs. I have clients who have, we can get into all of that. But yeah, so I think they go hand in hand. But I would say if you're just starting and you have no clue how to coach, but you think that you'd be good at it, like learn, get certified. Mm-hmm. What would you say?
I completely agree. And Molly is on with us live right now. And she's like, yes, that resonates. So I'm so glad. I completely agree. Molly. Yeah. What's so funny about this is I think a lot of people come into the space of coaching with the assumption that because they've had life experience that therefore they know how to coach. Or I've seen people discredit younger people, 21, 25, and going, oh, well, they haven't had enough life experience, therefore they don't need to coach. And while life experience can help inform your empathy and create new layers and new perspectives for you, it actually has nothing to do with being a great coach. I shouldn't say nothing, but it is a lot less than you might assume. Because being a great coach is not about projecting your stories and your life experience onto other people and giving advice from what you've learned. That's great if you want to record a podcast, sharing a story, sharing your lessons, but that's not really where, like, that does not come in a coaching session.
That's not what coaching is.
Yeah, big misconception.
Yeah. Let's model it. Let's just model this. Do you want to just demo this out for a second? Because here's what happens in a coaching session. Okay. I'm gonna pretend like I'm the client and I'm sharing something so vulnerable to you right now. You're my coach. Okay. So like my boyfriend, and then I want you to give me advice from your life experience. So I'm crying. No, I'm just kidding. My boyfriend decided that he needs a break and he's not sure when he's going to come back. And so I like can't show up in my business. I can't do anything because I literally I can't, it takes up all of my space to think about our relationship and where it's going to go and if it's even going to work out.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally went through the same thing like 3 years ago. And so I just decided that I was going to go on a sex bender and just get all of that energy out of my body. And, and like, I just like started manifesting so much money with all of, with all of the great new partners that I had. Okay, guys, this is a joke for anybody who doesn't know.
But we're just modeling for you how invalidating it is for someone to share something so vulnerable with you. And then for you to just share from your experience, it just takes it right away from them. And that does not help them.
And it's so funny because I was just talking to my fiance about this, not to story top, but we were talking about story toppers and this idea that like we all have that friend who you tell them a story and they just tell you a story in response, as opposed to validating and saying, wow, that's so like interesting. Thank you for sharing that. There's no acknowledgement of what was just shared. And oh my God, I used to be the worst at this. And I have to still be conscious because that was how I learned communication from whoever, I don't know. And as a coach, really button your lips if you're a story topper. And that's not your intention, but that's the impact, right? Button your lips and just listen. And resist the urge to want to tell a story in response to their share. Umali said, I had a leader in corporate like that. It doesn't feel good. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. So Ashley, why don't we model like what would be, should we give them the other side of it?
Totally.
Now you're going to be the coach. I'll be the client. So same example. Oh my God, Ashley, I don't know what to do. I just broke up with my boyfriend and I don't know how to show up in my business and it's really hard. And I'm just like, my brain is so distracted and, I just can't stop thinking about him. And I'm thinking about him on every coaching call. And I just I want to listen to sad music and make my aim away message, sad lyrics, but, I have to show up in my business. I don't know what to do.
First of all, sending you so much love right now. And it's so understandable why you would feel so frantic because you obviously really love this person and you want to be with them. And yet you don't know what's going to happen. And so it's taking up literally all of your space. And that's not a fun place to be in right now at all. Yeah.
Not fun. I don't know if there's more you were so hopefully you guys can notice the difference in energy and tone and really see that what Ashley did had a completely different impact.
Did you feel heard? Did you feel seen for what people really like? Coaching and relationships in general, life really is all about help. If you can listen and you can make people feel seen and heard, or you can actually just see them and hear them, life changes, relationships change, coaching relationships change. It's really all we want is validation in our feelings and in our emotions. And sometimes all it takes for someone to have a massive breakthrough is to just be heard. Really, it seems so simple, but it's so true.
I think that's so powerful, especially for high achievers, which if you're watching this and you resonate with that identity of I'm a high achiever, I'm a hard worker. I think that's essential to have a coach that can validate your emotions. And because I work with a lot of high level women inside my mastermind, and some of them from previous years and this year have a habit of wanting to get on to the next thing. So they are judging themselves going, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm so overwhelmed. But whatever, that's just a story. And they already start reframing themselves without allowing themselves to actually be present to what is coming up for them. And if I wasn't trained as a coach, I probably wouldn't be able to hold the right, the space for them in the way that they actually need it, which is just to have them take a breath, take a moment. And not only for me to validate how they're feeling, but for them to be able to validate themselves and to learn that skill of not bypassing their own feelings, which I think in the high achiever realm is a very common thing, especially when people learn a little bit about coaching and a little bit about reframes. They're so quick to want to say, well, that's based in fear. So, okay, I'm going to move through my fear. I move through it. And now let me go on to the next. And it's oh, hold on. Let's take a beat, take a moment.
Yes. Yeah, totally. And just to go back to something that you were talking about earlier about, doing what comes up for you in a session when a client is in a frantic state, I could have easily in that scenario jumped into her story and been oh my God, screw him. Right. And I could have just fed into the fire that was being created, but instead hold space for the client to let it out, acknowledge it, validate it. And also what you were saying about, what's showing up for you when someone is going through a tough belief or a tough moment, what's transpiring for you as the coach. And I think that's part of the beauty of our program is that
it's not, this Quantum Coaching Academy is not for someone that doesn't want to have a personal transformation. And I think it's really important to say that it's not like a sales thing. Like, it's not for you if you really like, it's true. Like, a big parallel piece of what we do is a personal transformation. It's really about unlearning the filters that you've learned so that you can be, all the students talk about being an amazing space holder, like, so that you can contain and hold the energy of the client without your shit getting in the way, without your beliefs, your identities, your fears, your all that. So we have to clear out your, what is it called? Your garage, or clean out your stuff.
Basement.
Yeah. Because it's true. Like, the cleaner of a mirror you become, the more transformational of a coach you become.
Yeah. And this even goes into all of the subconscious programming stuff that, as human beings, just a foundational principle of psychology is that when we take in information, we delete, distort, and generalize what we hear. Mm-hmm. And so what Ashley's speaking to with kind of clearing out all of the unnecessary junk that maybe we as human beings have held on to and haven't processed and released and worked through, if we're bringing that into a session, we are using those as filters. Like, let's say I had a really rough series of relationships and somebody's coming in and talking to me about this boyfriend. I might automatically hear something. If I haven't worked through my own stuff around my boyfriend, I might hear something that my client says and automatically make assumptions about, he's not the right guy for her. He's mistreating her. This is abusive, which might actually not even be remotely based in reality or facts or truth, but is my projection based on how I'm hearing that information by pulling it through my filters of bad relationships, right? So this is why, going back to what we were saying at the beginning, while it's really awesome for people to feel inspired and want to help others and say, oh, I have all this life experience that I can use. This is sort of we're unpacking this understanding of why that's actually not only not an effective way to coach, it's actually potentially harmful to your clients.
Yeah. Yes. And even in a group setting, like making sure that you know how to hold a larger container as well, and how to navigate those things that come up, because maybe you as the coach know how to manage that in a one-on-one scenario. But what happens when you're in a group, someone shares something vulnerably, someone else pops up and they're like saving that person. They're coming in to rescue her. She's crying. She's like, oh my God, you're okay. You're amazing. Like, you're incredible. Or, someone's crying and someone else is then sharing their personal experience. It's like knowing and learning how to navigate that as a leader too is super important to keep the energy in the group at maximum.
Yep. Sometimes people will unmute themselves on Zoom or raise their hand.
Oh yeah.
And like, they will just start sharing and you're sitting there as a coach going, oh, no, this is not. So when that happens, what do you do? How do you politely redirect that conversation? How do you, from a place of without embarrassing or saying you did this wrong, how do you communicate to your container, to your group that, that's not what we want to do without, like, that is such a tricky line to navigate.
It is
a group of many different personalities, many different filters, many different distortions.
Oh my gosh, when you're leading groups, you're leading so many filters and distortions. It's unbelievable. And you're like, what is happening? No, it's beautiful too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's like some of the most powerful work that you can possibly do. So I can answer that question, but also like, that's why being a coach is one part of it, right? But it's also being a facilitator and being a leader and knowing how to navigate that. Cause it's to me, that's leadership, right? How to navigate that in that moment. It's leadership and coaching combined. And so in those moments, number one, you have to set those expectations before the program even starts, how to interact with each other, no crosstalk, no saving, no this, no that. Like if someone's sharing something personal, we're just sending them love. We're not getting involved. So, but in the moment it will happen. And in those moments, each one's different. And there will be, what do we call them? My co-coach Jenna, she calls them not disruptions. Oh, it's such a good word and I can't think of it right now, but there will be disruptions in your coaching containers. Inevitably, things are going to come up that you literally cannot even fathom to come up. And so how are we going to handle it? Having those skills and tools is so important. So in the moment, it's a moment by moment thing, and navigating that it's intricate. It's like working with the energy.
Yeah. That's what you're talking about, like holding space and not having your own stuff and filters, especially when you're working with a group. If you have some kind of inner monologue going about, do people like this? Is this valuable? Is this good?
Yeah.
You're going to lose the group so fast. I love Tony Robbins because being at his events, watching him hold the container of a room of 15,000 people, like beyond the way that he structures his content, obviously they've developed that and refined it to a level of mastery that's pretty impressive. What's even more impressive for me is watching him have 15,000 people so unbelievably present and with him at every single moment. And what he says is that he is just a complete open channeled vessel in those moments. And yes, he's thoroughly rehearsed. He's done, hundreds of thousands of, maybe thousands of events, right? But he's so unbelievably in his body in the present moment. He said, like, I'm not thinking even 2 minutes ahead, because the moment that I go there, I lose the entire room. And when you're working with 15,000 people, you want to try to get 15,000 people back. Like if you lose them for a second, you're screwed. So he's raised the stakes for himself to such a high level that, he's had to step into this new, like, insane level of embodiment. But for us as coaches on Zoom, that's a challenge as well, right? Your clients are not with you in person. They might have to go make dinner. They might be listening to somebody else in their share, and maybe they feel like they're going on a little bit long. So how do you bring everybody back? How do you keep everybody in the energy of the group? Like that is truly like a whole other level of mastery. And it's a lot of it is unspoken. And so you might be watching somebody else's coach training and going, oh, well, she said this or he said that. But the levels and the layers are on an energetic, subconscious level. And that's even like being able to watch Ashley do what she does. It's like, oh shit, like she's really tapping into something on a whole other level.
It's so freaking beautiful. I love that shit. Like I love. Like, yeah, being able to drop into that is so cool. It's so fun. And it's interesting because I do say to students, like, it's, yes, you're going to learn the tools, you're going to learn but some students have said to me, like, the real learning is in the way that you hold the space for the container. Like they're seeing it, they're getting the downloads from it. It's an energetic download thing with the skills, with the tools, with all the things together. Yeah.
Well, I always say all success is state dependent.
Yeah.
Our emotional state. And when you're able to raise the frequency of a container to a different state, they are able to access information in a different way. Like they're able to hit a frequency where divine guidance is coming in. And if you're like, what do you mean by that, Jen? Think about it. When you're in a crappy emotional state, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling, like the world's ending, what types of thoughts, what types of downloads are coming in there? It's all of these questions around like, am I good enough? Is this going to work? Oh my God, how am I ever going to get this done? So when we think about our emotional state, there's certain thoughts and beliefs that get triggered by those different states. That's why when we're goal setting, a lot of people will goal set from a very just like not bored state, but very content state. They're sitting, they're just writing it out. And so they anchor that goal to that very melancholy state. And so then when they go to access that goal, that thought, they also access that state. And that's not an energy that's be able to move them towards that goal. Or you go to an event, you're all hyped up, you're in this great energy, and then you go home and you can't get anything done. Or you're like, oh, I don't remember what I was thinking. And it's because you have not trained your body, you've not trained yourself to access and become a master of your emotional state so that you can get in that event-like state in your office, in your living room.
Yes, so good. so, so, so good. And all of that is something that you can learn how to do with your clients. All of it. Yeah.
And that's like,
so powerful.
You want to be like a leader in this industry. It's not about learning like what's the right questions to ask. That's part of it. But in the grand scheme of things, that's such a small part of it. And if that's where you're starting right now, great. Like you're going to learn those things in Quantum Coaching Academy. You'll get all of that. And you're also going to get so much more that you don't even yet realize that you need, because like when you're entering into this space, there's so much that you don't know, which is like is the best part. And just being a beginner, being open, being a student.
Yeah. Amen to all of that. I would say that that's probably the biggest feedback. Like we just did our 3-day live training series, and I brought on like a handful, like so many students that are in the program, that were in the program, and they were like, yeah, the reason I joined QCA was to get certified, but I got so much more than that. So it's interesting how like you think you're going in for one thing, but you get something. We always get what we need. Always.
So true.
Always. Yeah. So true.
I love it. So fill us in on like, what does it actually look like inside? We talked about it a little bit, but inside QCA, it's a 6-month container. Cause I know there's some people watching this who are like, whoa, this is resonating with me. Everything you're saying is exactly what I've been wanting and looking for. But like, I didn't know how to search that on Google. I didn't know how to find that. So what is it like? What is the process that you take them through inside QCA so that they know kind of like what to expect in going through it?
Yeah. So the first part of the program, it's 3 parts. It's broken up into 3 parts. The first part is a lot of the foundational coaching tools, diving into yourself a little bit more, getting really, really good at listening and asking the questions and acknowledging and validating and all of that. You'll be assigned a peer coach and a peer client. So you'll be just, someone asked yesterday, do you give us like a couple weeks to learn some skills and then we get a peer coaching client? Because some people get nervous, like, oh, they're going to be coaching right away. Yes, we give you the perfect amount of time to get some skills under your belt, and then you'll partner up and you'll start practicing right away. And in the first phase, it's really about honing your listening and becoming that clear mirror for what the client is saying. And then in the second phase, we're leading more into the advanced tools. We have a live event, which is 3 days long, which is awesome. QCA Live is so good, so transformational. We do a lot of deep inner work because you're learning more of the advanced tools where you're getting certified in some of these bigger processes. And that's emotional freedom tapping, emotional timeline release, and Reiki energy healing, level 1 Reiki. So there's a lot that goes into this. And at this point, there's just deepening of your practice, and you'll be switching partners. So then you'll get to coach a whole nother person over 10 sessions. So you get 2 completely different people to coach, and then you'll have 2 completely different coaches. And it's really important that happens because you're going to have different clients and they're going to have different things to work with. And then the third phase of the program is all about really creating your business too, right? We don't go deep into business coaching or anything like that, but we do help you, master your sales calls. And we do help you dig more into like, what is the transformation that you're providing to people, and what is your niche, and who do you want to help? And so we start to give you clarity around that. And I know with Jen, she has some incredible bonuses. If you sign up with her, she is like offering so much to support your business. It's like crazy amazing. So that's a little bit of the overview. We also go into group program facilitation. So what does it look like to facilitate in a group setting? So you have our whole framework for that. We also have small group coaching and meetings and practicing. We're going to observe your coaching. You're going to be able to coach mentors, whether it's myself or one of my other amazing world-class mentors. We're going to give you feedback on your coaching. So it's a very, very layered program filled with so much experience.
Yes, like you're going to walk away from this program able to coach at such a high level of mastery that you're going to like, this is especially after like 2020 was a crazy year. So much collective trauma, so much stuff happened for people, and really being able to help people figure out, okay, now that we are kind of coming back to some normalcy, what do I want to create with my life? How do I want to show up in the world? Like, this is your opportunity to really support people and giving them the tools to really take those steps forward and really design the life that they want to create. So powerful.
Yeah. Coaching is, I find it's becoming so normal in people's lives. Like almost everyone, like so many people that I know have coaches, and people that aren't in the industry I'm talking about. Like there's people that I know that I wouldn't expect to have a coach, or like didn't think that they believed in that or whatever. Like people are hiring coaches like they're hiring therapists. And it's a growing industry. It's growing so rapidly, like so rapidly. And at the same time, people that need coaching is growing even more rapidly. So there's actually not enough coaches to help all the people that need to be helped. So like, we got work to do, people. And one thing I did not mention that I think is important, and I'm glad that you said all that, is that QCA is led live primarily. So everything that we teach is live teaching. So it's not pre-recorded. It's not self-paced. So if you're like a self-paced person, that's not for you, because we are live and we follow the International Coach Federation's guidelines. So it's the highest standards in the industry to make sure that you're getting all those live coaching hours, which are for your certification. So you have to show up 80% of the time live to this program in order to get certified in the program. And so some of the things that I just want to point out as well, like Jen was saying, like we give you what you need. So some of the bonuses on my end are like, you're going to get, someone's like, oh, I have a discovery call, but I don't even know how to like set up a booking link. Like we teach you how to do that. I don't even know how to create PayPal deposit links. We teach you how to do that. I don't even know how to like have a contract for my client. We have a contract for you prepared by an attorney. So it's like, we help you with the onboarding process as you need it, and so many other things, but I just wanted to point that out.
I'm so excited for all the people who are going to be joining QCA. And for those of you guys who are watching this, if you have any additional or listening to this, if you're listening to this and you have any other questions about QCA, please reach out to us at Hey Jen Casey, at The Quantum Coach on Instagram. We would love to connect with you, chat with you, and help to support you in making sure that this is actually the right fit for you. So we love you guys. Thanks for hanging with us.
So fun. Bye.
Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at Manifest with Ash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here. We be about it. Now go get 'em.